yeah, we've got a super chat then from Bill, who says, I've recently been playing Classic to prep for TBC, and I've realized how much I miss the old talent trees. What is your opinion of the old versus new talent setup? I think that's a fun one. The new talents remind me of like kitting out a character in Call of Duty. And the old talents are far more just traditional role-playing game.
Yeah.
And I mean that as in, you're like, do I want AoE? Do I want single target? And there's a very, very clear choices. And it's a sort of thing where I don't hate either. I kind of like both of them, to be honest. Because when Blizzard talk about giving you a talent tree with meaningful choices, well, I guess I do swap my talents quite a bit in Raid, and it does change how I play on a boss fight to boss fight basis. And even though I don't feel like I'm making a choice there, because one of them is clearly more superior, it at least does mean that I have tweaked my character to do a fight, and I have seen positive results from doing that.
Yeah, there's variance there.
Yeah, there's variance, and it changes how I play some of those fights. And I think there's a lot of value in that, actually. Where even if there is no meaningful choice because there's a mathematical optimal, the new talent system, I think, does a great job of varying your gameplay experience between fights by changing up your character kit so it can fit into different situations.
Yeah.
As for the old one, I think it works really well for an older, slower-paced game. I do think something like that could work in the modern game. It just, you'd need a little bit of tweaking. There'd be more button clicking. I do, though, think there's something far more inherently satisfying in adding points to a tree and moving down it.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's really satisfying. Because I basically started playing Classic very recently again as well in prep for TBC. Started leveling Night Elf Druid, but going through the talent tree, okay, so there's a couple of different things that I'm kind of thinking about at the same time, where that it is nice getting a new point every level, even if it's small, especially at the start of a tree where sometimes it doesn't matter. It gives you this it's almost the same effect as like an advent calendar on Christmas. I don't know how many cultures and people are familiar with those, but it's like, oh, open the door, bit of chocolate, nice, I've got something nice. And then you open the one on Christmas, it's a bigger bit of chocolate, but also it's on Christmas. Yeah. So it's that like build-up thing that happens, because I know I'm only level, I think I hit 11. No, I didn't. I hit 10. No, it was 11. It was 11. And I'm looking forward to Feral Instinct, because that's 30% or 15% move speed for the first rank. I'm really looking forward to that. And every time I open the talent tree and go put a point in, I'm like, yes, I'm closer to this. Which doesn't feel the same when you're leveling in retail, or modern, or Shadowlands, or whatever we should be calling it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel the same that each level is a step towards that goal, because it's like the UI doesn't indicate that in any way. It literally logically is, because you're 5 steps away from your new ability, but it's not that at all. And it's like that combined with a couple other things is just really important.
I get that. It's like, even if it's that sort of thing, even if the end result is the exact same, the way that you get to that and the way that it's presented and the actual user experience of it, as in, you level, you click, you now get 1 out of 5 points. It's like, it will feel like you've slowly built your way up to that. Yeah. And that's like a framing thing. So in a game where it's more about the journey and leveling is far more, as a percentage of total playtime, I think that makes a lot of sense. But then for a modern game, for modern Warcraft, where it is very based on endgame instanced activities, then you can see the game designer's logic for it being more of a, hit the N key in your keyboard and choose your loadout for the thing that you're about to do.
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense, because it, again, is like, even the permanence of the choice, as well as the degree of customization, is very important for Classic versus more modern World of Warcraft, because I have a choice to make, like, when do I split off into my other tree for a different benefit? Because having Furor early, as an example, to get Rage whenever I shift into Bear, or Energy when I shift into Cat form, will just help me in a couple different ways. Especially if I go a little bit into that into the resto tree, I can off heal dungeons better. Or if I want the highest DPS, I'll move into the balance tree to get Omen of Clarity for those free like swipes and rakes and shreds and stuff. But that's enabled because Classic has so much breadth of gameplay involved. It is almost like a breadth versus depth kind of thing, where you've got a lot wider possibility but it's not quite as deep. You are just standing there and hitting shred every couple seconds, like basically. So I think that supports it better.
Yeah, I think basically an exploration of that just highlights the differences in how both games are experienced and what works for both of them.